chatty. All right. So get inspired, Miss Shanna. We are here with Friday Morning Life Inspired. I'm Diane Bennett from RE/MAX 100 and Inspired Homes, and we have today as our guest Kim Powell, who's also with RE/MAX 100 Inspired Homes. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
So actually, I told her yesterday, you can say, I'm really not glad to be here, but I'm glad you're acting like you're glad to be here.
I'm glad to be here. I'm always glad to be where you are.
Oh, you're very sweet. Okay, so anyway, just want to remind everybody what Life Inspired is all about. So basically, it's where life was going along, and then ... God intervened in your life, and now you're an inspired person. Something's changed in your life, and you just feel like God really changed your trajectory. So where does your story begin, Kim?
Well, as we talked last week about where my story begins, I thought I knew a beginning place, and as I pondered that over the week, I don't know that we have a beginning place. You know, as I started going back, I'm like, well, was that really the beginning? As I go back over the years, well, there was that thing that happened and that thing that happened, and you start putting the pieces together, and there's lots of beginnings that like bring you to where you are right now.
Okay.
So basically just talking about how I came to be a realtor and how I came to be on the Inspired team. I guess going back to 2003 when we moved here from Illinois, and again, there's so many places that it's like hard to pick out the important ones, but basically God intervened right there to move us back here. Our family's back here. We had lived in Illinois, Wisconsin for 10 years. We weren't sure we were ever coming back here. So there's a whole backstory there as to how we even got here. But I had been a first grade teacher in Illinois for 10 years. I loved teaching. I didn't want to stop teaching. After we had our second child, it was really hard to keep teaching and being mom and doing it all well. And I kept feeling like God was saying, yeah, you need to stop teaching. But I didn't want to stop teaching. So I took a year leave of absence and I stayed at home for a year. And right about the time that I was supposed to decide if I was going back to school or if I was going to quit for good, I couldn't make the decision. I wanted to go back and I wanted to stay and I couldn't make the decision. And that's when all of a sudden we had an opportunity to move to Indiana.
Okay.
So we moved to Indiana. I no longer have a teaching license in Indiana. The decision was kind of taken away from me.
Right.
So here I am. I have these two little boys. They're 2 and 5. And I feel like I'm just supposed to stay at home for a while. And I'm doing that. And that's all fine and good. And I guess then it would be 2006. Aaron is in 4-year-old preschool, getting ready to go to kindergarten. I need to start thinking about my re-entry plan. I guess I need to go get my Indiana teaching license and get back into that. I kind of get anxious every time I think about it. I don't really know if I want to be a teacher anymore. And as I'm trying to put all those pieces together, God definitely intervened and gave me an Ashley. And so that's kind of where you and I then intersect in December of '06 when we run into each other at church and I turn around 9 months pregnant and we hadn't seen each other for 5 or 6 months. And you had all this exciting news about getting your real estate license. And I intervened and you said, wow, look at what you're doing. And well, I just wanted to let you know that I got my real estate license. And I said, wow, that sounds fun.
Yep.
But I'm going to do this for a while longer. Yep. And that kind of just started this conversation between us.
Yep.
I
remember telling you, we could trade places. I'd stay home longer with my kids and I was working.
And I was kind of itching to get back out there and didn't really want to be doing the baby thing again. And but even that intervention, God so knew we needed an Ashley in our family,
yeah.
and knew I needed more time to be at home and to figure out what my next step was, because it wasn't going back into teaching.
So was there a catalyst moment that got you to finally do real estate? What happened there?
And again, it was just a lot of little things. So then there was, in 2007 when the market crashed and things were tight for everyone.
Right.
Things were tight for us. We had a new baby. We had one job. There were pay freezes. We put our house on the market.
Yep.
We were looking at, well, maybe we need to sell this and get something cheaper. And so that kind of put you back in my life in that space of working through that. I remember us looking at houses and you kept saying, oh, you so need to be selling houses. And even that was a short-lived thing because God came in again and gave my husband a second job that provided us just enough where we didn't have to sell our house. And doggone, selling your house is hard.
Yes, selling your house is hard, guys. It's really hard to sell your house.
I really have a lot of appreciation for, which again, because of that, gave me an empathy for what sellers are going through. It was hard. We were only on the market 10 days, and people didn't like my decor, and they didn't like my colors, and they wanted to schedule showings during a birthday party. So
it's hard to sell your house, absolutely.
So even that whole experience, and so during that time, as we talked, and you kept saying, oh, you should just be selling real estate. And I thought, I would really like to sell real estate, but I don't want to be a business person. I don't want to be a business owner. I'm not organized with, I just, all the paperwork, that overwhelms me. And then we started having these conversations of what would it look like if we did this as a team? What if you and I could just go and sell real estate and we had someone to help us in the back and take care of that stuff?
Right.
Well, well,
tuck that away.
Right. That I could probably do. And then as I'm kind of pushing that to the side and whatever, I have a new neighbor move in who happens to be a real estate agent. And she and I become very good friends. And while we sit and watch the kids play, we talk, and she keeps saying, you should go sell real estate. I'm like, okay.
I know, Diana keeps telling me that.
Maybe I should go sell real estate. So, so I went and got my license, and the rest is kind of history. But again, just going back with all the little things that happened leading up to me being here with you and this team. And
okay, but I remember going and you can't go work with your girlfriend who shall remain nameless, whatever. You can't go work with her until we talk, And then I remember taking you to lunch and saying, you know what, I don't want to dictate whatever God's doing in your life. She was going to have a baby, and you thought you could really help her. And we had started the team, and we had Kristen Johnson, Eddie Niziolek, and Linda DeMel on the team at the time. There were 4 of us. And you thought, well, Diane doesn't need me, and she does. And I said, okay, that's fine if she needs you, and that's where God's sending you. But I remember telling you, we still need you. So we're, whatever God wants, I do whatever with your blessing. But I don't want you to go there thinking we don't need you, because we do.
Right.
So I remember telling you that.
Right. And then she moved away.
Yeah.
So,
right.
Yeah.
So it worked out.
Absolutely exactly where I'm supposed to be.
Very cool.
But the other thing is, during that short time that I was at home, I was selling creative memories. And it was really, I guess when I first got into it, it was to make a little money. But to be honest, I didn't make any money. I just spent it all in scrapbook supplies. But what it did is that it showed me that I'm pretty good at sales, and that sales isn't about selling stuff. And people would say, oh, you can sell anything, Kim can sell whatever, But what I realized is that the people who were coming to me for scrapbook supplies really were coming to me, they already knew what they wanted to buy. They just needed guidance as to what to buy and how to walk through that process. It was it seems so trivial, that scrapbooks, but it was people's memories, and these women would come and they were so overwhelmed with, how do I get all this in these books, and I've got so much, and how do I organize it?
And you got to teach.
So I was teaching too. So it wasn't just going and selling. I would, hold events at my house, and people would come and work on their scrapbooks, and developing the relationships and getting to know these women through their pictures and their families and their experiences, and walking them through the process of getting these books done. And it wasn't about selling the products. It was about helping them accomplish what they wanted to get done. And so selling the product became very easy. They already wanted the product. They wanted to get this done. And I feel like houses are the same thing. You don't talk someone into buying a house. They come to you because they want to buy a house. And all we do is walk them through the process.
And help them find the right one.
And so even just that little time that I spent selling creative memories really prepared me for doing this, where we're really just helping people to, get what they want.
Yep. I'm so glad you're inspired. We're so glad to
very
have you on
inspired.
Inspired. So, Miss Shanna, thanks so much for watching us. And don't forget that if you have someone who has an inspiring story, we really want for you to email us, message us here, or email us or call us at the office and let us know. Last week we had Angie Tompkins, who has a great story if you want to go back and watch that one from her cancer. So any kind of story that you have that someone was living life, God intervened, yada, 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 his 3 little dots, and then now they're inspired. We're looking for those. We are going to take a break next Friday because of being the Friday after Thanksgiving. So we won't be on the air next Friday, but watch us again in 2 weeks, and we look forward to seeing you then. And thanks so much, and go get inspired, Miss Shanna.
Inspired.
Awesome. You did great.